focus, whenever we talk of tobacco, has always been on cancer, on cardiovascular diseases, on pulmonary diseases. We have not gone beyond that. No doubt, yes, tobacco is causing all these problems. In fact, 4 out of 10 cancers are associated with tobacco use humans. But I'm a women health expert, and my focus is on women's health. And we actually don't go so much by, of course, mortality is there with cancer, with heart disease, with other things and all. But we wish to focus more so on quality of life. Here is a woman who is bringing forth another life in this world. So we want that that is also healthier. With that idea, we did one national consultation on World No Tobacco Day, focusing on tobacco use and its implications on health of women and their children. And we came out with so much of literature is there. Many people are still not aware. There is some simmering, some people have mentioned, some experts have also mentioned about that. But I'll just briefly talk to you about, I'm not making any slide presentation, just briefly make you aware and see how we can bring forth some advantage by stopping tobacco, even in this field, when we are not looking at those gory pictures of cancer on tobacco and other things and all. When we look at epidemiologically, so I'll just tell you what is the epidemiology. Gates survey, that global health survey, had shown that 23.8% women use tobacco in India. So it's not less. It's not that most people think. In fact, they say generally men start first, but women quit last. But what was seen was majority of these women were using actually smokeless tobacco. Many other, almost 90% were not smoking. It was gutkas or cannies or misris or all other things which were being used by them. So I'll just briefly highlight what all problems it can cause to health of women and men and their progeny. I'll start with conceiving. Tobacco use has been associated with infertility both in men and women. There is enough evidence that men who smoke have a lower sperm count, have more erectile dysfunction and all, and of course their progeny may also be harmed. Women who smoke have less chances of conceiving, even when there are studies conducted in vitro fertilization clinics that smokers had a lower conception rate compared to non-smokers. So that is one important issue which needs to be taken care of. My always adage is, if you tell a man, don't smoke, you will get cancer. You get answers. Somebody told me, how I started smoking was, I used to fill hookah for my dada. And from there I got the habit. And he lived till 91 years. Why you are telling me I will? But the moment I tell them that you smoke, so chances of your wife conceiving are less and your child having problem are more, they listen to it. They really ask for. So that is one thing which is there. Then we come to reproductive health issues. A woman who is pregnant, there are enough evidences, it causes more miscarriages, it causes more stillbirths, it causes more preterm deliveries, it causes small for dead babies. In fact, I've published a review article on smoking and tobacco use, its ill effects on reproductive, maternal, newborn, child health and adolescent program in our country. We have a very focused RM and CHA program which doesn't bring tobacco use anywhere. We are not even teaching our peripheral health workers that when you are providing antenatal care, please also ask them use of tobacco. Now, when we talk of all these harms which can happen to her progeny, this also doesn't happen only when the woman is using tobacco. It also happens when she is exposed to second-hand smoke. Her husband may be smoking, her father-in-law, her brother-in-law, whom she can't even control, and she's exposed, and her progeny will be exposed to all these risks, more malformations, more low birth weight, more preterm deliveries. All this will happen in her case. It doesn't stop there. These children who are born when tobacco has been used during pregnancy also have more attention deficit disorders, lesser learning abilities and all, and of course subsequently are more likely to convert themselves into tobacco users of any form. And we don't even realize. In fact, there are some communities in Madhya Pradesh where it was observed that stillbirth rate was very high. When we looked into it, why it is happening, we realized that these women were using something which is burnt tobacco, which is called mishri, to rub on their teeth to make teeth shining. None of them was aware of that this mishri has any tobacco in it. They were not even aware of. It's only till we pointed out that you are having stillbirths because you are using this kind of a mishri that people became aware. So, of course, there is a lot of place when we talk of harm reduction to make them aware of all these issues also, not just cancer and not just cardiology or pulmonary issues. That is one thing. So I don't think I want to say much. E-cigarettes, of course, Dr. Desai also pointed out, there was a study in England in pregnant women. In fact, they have very good statistics keeping and all, and they found that when women were told that pregnancy can be harmed, there was almost 52% reduction in smoking rate. Some women were concerned, I'm already 2 to 3 months pregnant, harm has been done, why should I? But when explained that whenever you stop, it's going to be good, they did stop. Only 12% remained smokers later. But those who converted to e-cigarettes to reduce harm, they became more smokers after the delivery. So it is not that e-cigarette weans them off combustible cigarettes and all. And of course, problem in our country is going to be very, very different because it's not e-cigarettes, it's not even other cigarettes and Beedi, which is affecting these women's health. If in fact, we have also observed that women who are working with Beedi rolling industry, where they're indirectly having have a higher prevalence of cancer cervix. So that is also a problem in cigarette industry, which is never even pointed out, which is never even thought of. All tobacco control will focus mainly cigarettes, put tags, put such gory. They will not even put the same images on Beedi packet. And when in India, I think 60% of smokers use Beedi or hookah or other things, even smokers, forget about non-smoking. So these are the things which I really wish to highlight. And of course, whatever harm reduction policy circle is planning is certainly most welcome. But I would definitely like to give a message, conclude by saying one line, that since we know now we have enough data that progeny is affected, women's health is affected. Even people were worried about SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. Why the baby is suddenly dying. And then they found that 30% of SIDS were occurring in women who were smoking. So this is a very, very important cause, what is happening. So as we know that smoking or tobacco use adversely impacts the health of women in all stages of their life, starting from birth to even senescence. They have early menopause, then of course postmenopausal cancers and all would always be there, which is the main focus. But there is a growing body of evidence that smoking causes preventable harm to women's health. It is definitely preventable, with ill effects being most profound during pregnancy and immediate postpartum. So that is one area where we really need to focus, and where probably e-cigarettes will not be, and we have to make them aware that many of these smokeless products which they are using are actually containing tobacco. Smoking may not be that prevalent in our country, but other smokeless tobacco use, and of course about second-hand smoke or passive smoking, has to be taken care of. That husband or the family has to be told that if she is carrying, kindly refrain if you want a healthy grandson or a granddaughter, even if you have, then only they can have it. I would definitely, in light of all this evidence, would want to recommend that it should also become part of our tobacco control program. Messages focused on reproductive health issues and all. Rather than that, what has been happening, earlier we had advertising macho images of men smoking, you know, and now there are commercials which glamorize that smoking women are more fashionable, they're more modern, it helps to control their weight and whatnot. I think some curve has that also is very important for harm reduction, because that is also, they are listening to all those things, they're watching all these things and all. I think we really need to focus and also train our all MNCH workers that please screen everybody who comes to you with any infertility or reproductive health problems also for tobacco use history. Not just smoking, but tobacco use and passive tobacco use history.
Thank
With
you so
this, I
much.
thank all.